Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here, welcome to this channel. I do news and reactions, and if you are not new, welcome back. Thank you everyone for your continued support on this channel. It means the world to me. And also, please note that I am still having my Servboxx fundraiser event. If you are interested in making a pre-order purchase, that direct link to that soapbox will be down below. Now, I want to talk about something serious. I recorded some videos earlier and then I started to get a migraine and I wanted to come back after I had taken some Advil so that I could talk about this Eric Swalwell situation. I put up a short the other day because I was suspicious at the timing the accusers are coming forward with what they are alleging. And it reminded me of what had happened between Donald Trump and John Bon Jovi when he was making up stories about John Bon Jovi, disparaging stories about him, where John Bon Jovi didn't understand during the time that it was happening why he was experiencing hate. What had happened was they were both bidding for the same football team, and Donald Trump started making stories John Bon Jovi was gonna buy the team and then take them like to another state or city. I forget the exact context, but I can put the ESPN article there. Needless to say, it wasn't until years later that John Bon Jovi had found out that there was these stories. And it's John Bon Jovi. Like, everybody knows who he is. Everyone knows he's a good guy, probably never cheated on his wife. You know, he's a musician. So I'm sure that he had every opportunity to cheat and most likely never did. And we as a society look upon men who are married and they remain faithful to their spouse throughout the years, trials and tribulations, whatever the situation is. We as women have a tendency of looking at these men as heroes because they didn't falter to another woman's deception. And I think people have a tendency of forgetting when a person goes outside of their relationship, the other person is also involved. They are also making the choice to be with someone who is married. And it's never a good thing. It destroys trust within the relationship if those people decide to work things out. It's not really us as outsiders to make judgment calls on whether that person should leave them or not. And people have a tendency of doing that. They have a tendency of judging a person for staying with their spouse. We're not in their relationship. We are not in their bed. Therefore, we don't have a say on how somebody should live in their relationship. That is them. That is not us. Anyway, I say all this to say is that I'm very disturbed at what is happening with Eric Swalwell because he was looked upon as a person who was coming to the defense of the Epstein survivors. So I'm at a cross because I don't want to be that woman that says, I don't believe them. I'm not going to be that person. I am going to keep my mind open and hold with highest regard of what these women are coming forward with. I mean, they're not even showing their face. They are afraid. That's understood. Imagine coming forward and you don't know, like, how much power the other side has where you're afraid for your life, you're afraid for the people around you. It's very, very frightening to come forward and disclose something that happened to you where you were violated, and not just once but multiple times. I'm gonna share a story from CNN, and then I'm going to share Eric Swalwell's response to all of this that is going on. And then we're going to come back and discuss.
Exclusive reporting about Congressman Eric Swalwell. The Democrat is running for California governor, as you know. He's been facing rumors on social media about sexual misconduct allegation that he has denied. CNN's Pamela Brown and her team have spoken with 4 accusers, including a former staffer who went on camera to share her story. A warning, you're about to hear some disturbing and graphic details. Here's Pamela Brown's report.
I kept figuring out ways to blame myself. I shouldn't have reached out to him at all. I should have left. I should have done this. Well, Eric shouldn't have raped me.
This Capitol Hill staffer is coming forward for the first time on camera to talk about her experience with Congressman Eric Swalwell. He is now a leading Democratic candidate for governor of California.
Let's get together, make the biggest wave this state has ever seen.
Swalwell was in his late 30s and married when she joined his office as an intern and became a junior staffer. She's speaking in shadow as she fears professional consequences.
It was in 2019. I was, again, driving him to an event. This was my job.
And you were 21 years old.
And I was 21 years old. We see some sort of parking lot, and he says to pull over. He pulls out his penis and instructs me to give him oral sex. And I started to. Again, I felt incredibly uncomfortable. And I stopped, and I said to him, this feels really uncomfortable, and anyone could see us right now. And he said to me, you're right. It's probably not good for a congressman to be caught with his pants down.
Swalwell calls her allegations false. His campaign responded earlier to vague accusations on social media related to his behavior with staffers.
Did you ever behave inappropriately with female staffers?
No, it's false. And also, some of the allegations I've seen, which is that we've had NDAs in the office. There's never been an allegation, and there's never been a settlement. And, I will also just take stock that, look, we're 27 days before an election starts.
Did he ask you to send him lewd photos?
Yes.
And did he ever send lewd photos?
Yes. He would send short Snapchat videos of him rubbing his penis through his pants while on the airplane.
The staffer says she liked Swalwell's attention at first and nervously went along with it, which included sending back nude photos of herself. But in September 2019, she says she and some friends met up with Swalwell. After a night of heavy drinking, she says she woke up naked with Swalwell in a hotel room with no memory of what happened.
So I'm going to link this video in the description box. I want to fast forward and play Eric Swalwell's response to these allegations that are happening.
Defending himself, particularly against the sexual assault allegations. So I want to watch what he posted to social media.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public. As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support, and I look forward to updating you very soon.
And a lawyer for Swalwell sent two of the women CNN spoke with cease and desist letters on Thursday. That was a day after CNN first reached out to his campaign to request comment, according to copies of the letters that they provided CNN. The women, now the letters called the women's accounts false, ordered them to retract their statements, and warned of potential legal action if they continue to speak out. The women stand by their accounts to us, Laura.
So this is all very disturbing. Because on one hand, you have a woman who's giving detailed events on what happened. And then you have the other party saying, nope, this never happened. And these are all lies. And we're going to fight them. I think, in my own personal opinion, I want to see how this plays out. I'm not going to make any judgment calls. I'm not going to play sides or play favorites. I want to see what happens. I think when we start picking sides, we start judging and we start assuming and we start putting things out on social media. Then when everything comes out and it's unfolded, people are going to have to retract. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that. You become unreliable. And I don't want to be that person to say, yep, this is what it is. And this is how we're going to move forward. And then I become an unreliable person sharing this information with you. I want to stay as neutral as I can while respecting this woman who made this allegation. And I think that is what's important. Whatever's going to happen with him is going to happen with him. But what's going to happen with her, that she has to cover her face out of fear, this will be used against her if she goes for like other jobs. That's the fucked up part. That is the part that we as a whole, as a collective, need to take a look at and say, when something happens, why is it that we have to cover our face and live in hiding and live in secret while the other person gets to walk around and be like, yeah, I'm good, it didn't happen, and still get jobs, while the other person who accused is looked upon like you're a troublemaker? And that's where my issue lies, because I have been witness to women. I think I told the story not too long ago. It could be on my Patreon. So if you are not signed up to my Patreon, I will put that link below. There was a woman who had a similar experience, and I had no idea what was going on. I mean, you see people working together. You don't know that one is harassing the other because of the way they are working together and the way they are carrying on. When I mean carrying on, I'm talking about working in the same room. You don't know that there's friction between one person or another. And you know what? I'm not going to get into my own personal experiences because I don't want to make this about me. But I'm not going to say that I didn't have a similar experience in a workplace, not getting assaulted, but having experiences with men at work who thought they could just do what they want, and being married, and you're supposed to just accept it because it was a moment that happened with somebody when I first started working, and he apologized the next day, but it was never the same. Like, you just don't go to somebody and start making out with them and think that it's okay. I'm just saying. So with all that being said, I'm going to end it here. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Again, you must be a subscriber in order for you to comment. This is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.